We now have our cluster set up, worker nodes added, and networking provisioned. Let's perform a few checks to see if everything is functioning correctly. We list the nodes and they look good. We list the pods and they look good. Let us try to view the logs of the networking pod. The Weave pod deploys 2 containers, so you must specify the name of the container to view its logs. So let's try that. When I try that, you see it says it's forbidden. Now why is that? What's happening when we do this? Like, how is the Kubeapi server hosted on the master nodes able to pull logs from a pod or container hosted on the worker nodes? Of course, it must be through the kubelet. So the API server requires permissions on the kubelet to access its resources. And we haven't done anything so far to give the API server those set of permissions. We do that by creating a cluster role and then binding that cluster role to the API server. So we first create a cluster role for Kubeapi server to kubelet connectivity with the resources nodes proxy, stats, log, spec, and metrics. Then create a cluster role binding to bind that role to the Kubeapi server. Once that is created, check the logs again and you see the output. Well, this is an interesting place to look at if you run into issues while fetching logs or executing commands on pods while troubleshooting.